From the lost city of Anaheim, I am Dan Kingerski on the National Hockey Now and the Pittsburgh Hockey Now YouTube channel. The Pittsburgh Penguins win 2-0 over the Anaheim Ducks. Welcome to the 5-minute postgame. Like and subscribe, please, to the channel. Get the exclusive videos, the raw video from the locker room, and everything else we can put on YouTube that they won't flag. So let's break down the Penguins' 2-0 win over the Ducks, which was a stark departure from the 4-3 loss last week. And herein lies a very interesting moment post-game. It surprised me. I had some questions for Mike Sullivan. I was kind of gonna get into, I thought, the structure and the methodical way I thought the Penguins approached the game. And then he threw me a little bit of a curveball. Didn't throw it to me specifically, but Josh Yohe asked him, about the patient sort of game, and it was so much different than last week. And Sullivan really went expansively, kind of expanded on the disappointment of last week, that the Penguins carried more play, the Penguins had more chances, more grade A chances last week than they did on Tuesday night. And it was a little surprising to me because, not only the results were vastly different, but I thought the Penguins played very patient, poised, structured on Tuesday night. Yes, they had far more grade A chances last week against the Anaheim Ducks. They also gave up a lot more. And if being a little bit more conservative is the key to, victory, I think the Penguins should throw a parade for themselves, quite frankly, that they had that sort of willingness to adopt a conservative style. For example, now if you read the Pittsburgh Hockey Now report card, which published at 5 a.m. Eastern time on Wednesday, which I guess would just be a few hours from now after I'm recording this, once I got back to the hotel room. The Penguins' top line was very good. They had 5 grade A scoring chances, which led all lines. If you notice, especially through the back half of the second period and the third period, the line was playing with 2 players. The F3, and oftentimes it was Brian Rust, was staying not just high above the puck, but very high, like back to the blue line. There was one sequence in the third period, Brian Rust didn't even enter the offensive zone. Just stayed back. Anaheim transition. The Penguins had numbers. No fuss, no muss. I lauded the Penguins for that in the report card. It seemed like Sullivan kind of took something away from I think he thought Anaheim had more chances than maybe what I saw, or maybe what the naturalstattrick.com showed. The advanced analytics for the game showed the Penguins dominated the second period, far and away had more chances. And until the final 5 minutes of the third period, perhaps the Penguins didn't have a lot of scoring chances, but they kept Anaheim to the perimeter. Round the outside. This time, it was the Penguins' opponent who was stuck to the outside of the ice, not able to really get into the interior. Of course, in the final minutes, that changed. Anaheim got desperate. Things got a little bit chaotic. Magnus Hellberg was like, it was kind of fun to be in net, and he made all the saves. Troy Terry rang the post with about 8 minutes to go. Perhaps that was what Sullivan was referring to. But, let's get into some of the other performances I think were noteworthy on Tuesday. The Penguins' third line was really good. They led all lines with 7 scoring chances. Yeah, the O'Connor, Eller, and Zohorna line. Watch the subtle plays that Zohorna makes. I am gaining a deeper appreciation for his game. I was starting to wonder if he was receding or maybe going to regress. But as I watched him on Tuesday, the little plays that he makes, He set up his own goal in reality. He picks the defenseman, creating space for Eller to get into the zone and then get a shot. And all the while, Zohorna is putting himself in a good position for the rebound. That 6'7" reach just pokes it through goalie John Gibson. It was just the hockey IQ on that play was a little next level. Evgeny Malkin was really good on Tuesday, especially in that second period. He was, dominant might not be the right word, but forceful was. That puck followed Malkin, and Malkin was directing traffic for most of the second period. I really like how Chris Letang is playing. I do not like how Chad Ruedel is playing. We probably should get into this because I mentioned it in the report card. I don't want to be over the top or too critical of Chad Ruedel, who was back in the lineup on Tuesday. But this is a decision that maybe I'm going to disagree with Mike Sullivan on and do so pretty firmly. Because, yes, P.O. Joseph has not played well this season, nor has Chad Ruedel. Chad Ruedel was burned a handful of times on Tuesday, getting spun on the back wall, losing the puck, losing position at the net so that the Ducks would get a chance, losing his man on the rush, getting beat to the good zones. I'm of the opinion that Joseph, however poorly he has played this season, is better than he's played. I am not of the opinion that Chad Ruedel is better than he has played. I think going back to last season, Ruedel has increasingly struggled with the pace and maybe even sometimes the physicality of the game. That's maybe where I'll stop that. The 5-minute post game became 7 minutes. And we've got so much more to get to. We'll have an update on Tristan Jarry probably Wednesday. I thought Hellberg played pretty well. I think Kyoto is doing some good things. Andy Kyoto, the goalie coach, is doing some good things with Hellberg. I can't speak to last year, but he had an abysmal save percentage with Detroit. I see Hellberg moving, but also remaining upright. I see some good things there with Magnus Hellberg. But that's where we're going to wrap it up. Penguins win 2-0. Lots to like about it. I think structurally, as much as anything, the Penguins should take a lot from the win on Tuesday. They will need every bit of structure to compete with LA on Thursday. LA has a handful of guys who are about 6'5", no exaggeration, and 220 pounds, including former second overall pick Quentin Byfield, who's really starting to come into his own as well. So, I am Dan Kingerski, and you're not. So, from Anaheim, I'll be in LA on Wednesday. Send me some cheap dinner spots. I could use some good indie food. No more chain restaurants. Good Lord, no more chains. All right, have fun, kids.